All right. Hello, everyone, to the viewers, and a very good evening from my side. My name is Gurpreet Kaur, and today I am going to give you strategies and techniques on the PTE one part of the reading. So, the discussions we are going to have today in this live sessions are going to be very informative for you. All I want is a bit of your patience and your uttermost attention to the whole lecture, right? So we have observed that since the PTE sessions we are conducting from past some years, the major difficulty all of the students are facing in the reading module, because rest of the modules we all know that these are template based, right? So today we are going to specially discuss about the reading only. Now, reading, why it is problematic? Only and only there are two reasons. Number one reason is lack of grammatical accuracy and knowledge by the students. So students, if you lack in the basic knowledge of grammars, we need to work upon that part first. Second thing is students do not have a lot of vocabulary with them and they are not aware about the collocations as well. So what is the importance of vocabulary and collocations? We are going to discuss the same in this session. So not to waste the time, let's start with the session now. So the number one thing which here I want to discuss with all of you is about SIEC. You all know, must be aware, SIEC running since past 27 years has set many of the milestones for the students. What you get here, not only the migration and immigration services, but also the test prep services as well. And this year, the name has been changed to SIEC Test Masters. Now, what the Test Masters actually is? And individual focus on each and every student's particular level so that students gain their score accordingly. Number two, we are having specialized, experienced, and very trained trainer from the respective of the branches, PTE, Pearsons, and IDP certified trainers we are having here. Number three, you get individual batches as well as SAEC test masters run early morning and late evening batches as well. Now, the quality here we serves is what is the word of mouth for us, right? So we focus on the quality, and for the further discussions, let's start with the session now. Let's not waste the time. Hopefully, I'm getting the viewers as well. So today we are going to start with PTE, not the complete reading module, only PTE reading fill in the blanks masterclass by Gurpreet Kaur, the trainer with SIEC Test Masters. Now, you guys are very much aware if you are appearing for the PTE test or if you are a student of PTE that in reading session only, this session is of 30 minutes approximately. And in this session only, we are having 4 to 5 types of question. Number one, you always get summary based MCQs where you have to choose single answer. Number two, you get multiple choice questions as well where you have to mark 2, 3 or even more than 3 answers for the MCQs itself. Then coming on to the number 3 type of question, which are reorder paragraphs. Reorder paragraphs, you just have to drag the sentences to the empty box so that the whole paragraph makes a complete sentence. But the problematic area today we are going to discuss is reading, writing, fill in the blanks, and reading, fill in the blanks alone. So two types of fill in the blanks are there in the reading session. One is reading and writing fill in the blanks. What are reading and writing fill in the blanks? Here you get 4 options for the same, and out of those 4 options for each individual blank, you have to choose one correct answer. Number 2, drag the options blank. Now, drag and drop is also the name for the same. What do these stand for? Here, you do not get individual 4 of the options for each of the blank. You get miscellaneous options for each of the blanks, right? So these are the basics of the blanks which we are going to discuss here. So let's start with the same, with the tips and strategies, and moving to further slide now. So the very basic strategies to be followed in blanks specifically and to be followed in whole over the reading passage. Number one is never spend more than 2 minutes on this task, because on reorder paragraphs you have to spend a lot of time because there is a lot of negative marking. For example, the middle of the two sentences, if you are making them wrong, it means neither of the pair would be made. So you have to focus on the pairs there. Because of that, you need to spend approximately 4 to 5 minutes on each of the reorder paragraph. Same is the case with summaries. Summaries sometimes are very tricky. Again, negative marking are there in multiple MCQs. So you have to be very precise and very conscious answers are to be made. So this reading fill in the blanks, reading and writing fill in the blanks, both of the questions are the type where you should not spend 1.5 to 2 minutes on the particular question. How many blanks you get here varies from paper to paper. Generally, there are 4 to 5 types of question in the fill in the blanks category only, right? So in order to solve 4 to 5, you need approximately 10 minutes to 15 minutes, which is half of the reading time. So we have to spend wisely. So never ever spend more than 2 minutes, and even no requirement is there to spend more than 2 minutes if you are applying and following the complete strategies, right? So never spend more than 2 minutes on each of the question, not the question, on each of the particular category of the question, right? Then you have to take care of the technicalities as well. Sometimes we are in the adrenaline rush of solving our exam and there are disturbances and noises from the background as well, or generally we are very nervous or overexcited as well. For example, if in the front of my screen the questions are very easy, I will be on cloud nine that I am solving it in a jiffy, and I just right away click the next option. But this is not which should be done. Why it shouldn't be done? Sometimes when we choose the answer, if we do not proofread the answer, in the rush only, we might mark the wrong answer. In actual, when we are quite aware about the right answer as well. So please be very careful about the technicalities as well. Always do cross check whatever you have marked so that सही वाला आंसर भी आपका गलत ना हो जाए, right? Third part is using the knowledge of grammar. In the starting of the session as well, we have discussed this parameter. You need to be very good on the grammar part. Now, what do we mean by very good on the grammar part is not that you have to be very expert or you have to be having a knowledge of very advanced English. The grammar in PTE reading section is very basic. You should be aware about the tenses, number one. You should be aware about the parts of speech, number two. Now, discussing the parts of speech and tenses is a very long and lengthy process which cannot be covered in the one session only. For this, we time to time do the master sessions as well. And in the classes, the students who are enrolled, we particularly have the timetable set for those students. The days are set for those students, and the PPTs and other of the documents are set for the online courses students as well, so that we emphasize on the basic knowledge of grammar which is required here. So two things you have to be very careful of: active and passive voices of the tenses, number one, obviously a must, right? Then further you have to focus on the parts of speech. 7 parts of speeches are there. You have to be very careful with that. So if you're starting, if you're a beginner, please start with these two basics of the grammar very first, right? After the grammar, you have to be very accurate on the articles as well, which is a part of parts of speech only. And you should be very aware that what pairs are to be made. Do adverbs comes with adjective or do nouns comes with adjective? You have to be very cautious with the same. That is a separate thing. Some of the techniques would be discussing further in the practice session today. Moving on to third slide now. The third thing you have to do is you have to develop a very good vocabulary. Students, if I talk about personally, only grammar part, it is just the luck. No doubt, 80 to 90% of the blanks are grammar based only. But rest of the 20%, 30%, depending on your destiny and your luck and your karma as well, that you are getting easy of the questions or difficult of the questions. Part 2 plays in the vocabulary section as well. Why? 50% of the sometimes the options you are getting as an answers, 50% sometimes there are the grammar based one, but other 50% can be of vocabulary based. Vocabulary, again, number one, collocations. You need to be very good on that. For the collocations we will be referring something further, but apart from collocation, be very much careful and aware about synonyms and antonyms. बहुत बार जब क्लास सेशंस चल रहे होते हैं तो बच्चे बोलते हैं कि मैम आई एम वेरी कंफ्यूज्ड विद दिस आंसर, मुझे लग रहा है इसका आंसर ये है लेकिन इसके आगे ऐसा सा एक वर्ड दिया हुआ है, तो दैट दिया हुआ वर्ड ऑलवेज कैंसल्स बिकॉज सिनोनिम्स अगर एंड के साथ है नेवर इट वुड बी सिमिलर, so that might be the case with the help of any conjunction, yeah, with the help of any another hint you have to apply antonym there. So vocabulary range should be very accurate if you want to score very good in PTE reading and writing, fill in the blanks and drag and drop fill in the blanks, right? After that, collocations. Collocations, again mentioning again and again that collocations do play a very big role because blanks are 70% about the collocations as well, grammatical collocations, and then collocations are more of the phrases also, right? So you have to be very careful and you have to be very accurate on the knowledge of collocations as well. कुछ नहीं करना है इसके लिए, collocations are endless, just like this language is endless. So collocations के लिए there is already a list of 2,500 words by the Pearson's PTE only. When you will be Google searching this Pearson's PTE test on the website only, you will be getting the collocations list free of cost, nothing have to be paid. And please do have a look before appearing for your exam. Even in the class session, I regularly take tests of collocation of my students so that students should be very clear that along with which preposition what word is to be adjusted and fixed, right? So again, this plays a role if you want your desired score. Clear? Moving on to next slide now, that is slide number 4, elimination strategy. Elimination strategy. Now, what is that? For example, in MCQ based blanks, I have clicked on my slide and there are 4 options right in front of me. Now, what to do? Those options I have to eliminate. Why? Because 2 such options would be clearly those options which have nothing to do with the entire meaning of my sentence. So करना क्या है बच्चा? Whenever there is a question type in front of you, have a look on the question only. एक सेंटेंस आप पढ़ते हैं जब भी आपको ब्लैंक का करेक्ट आंसर मार्क करना है, सेंटेंस जब हम पढ़ते हैं हमें थोड़ा आइडिया होता है कि इसमें वर्ब जाएगी, इसमें नाउन जाएगा, एडजेक्टिव जाएगा, एडवर्ब जाना है, आर्टिकल जाना है, व्हाट इज देयर सपोज्ड टू बी, राइट? तो हमें आइडिया होता है दैट इज दिस अ पॉजिटिव सेंटेंस और इट इज अ नेगेटिव सेंटेंस. After that, you have to eliminate some of the words in order to get accurate answer. So elimination strategy should be there. करना कैसे है? Again, how to go for the approach we will be discussing in the next practice session, right? Then next, learn right use of words that have similar meaning. Again, 2 of the words in MCQ types of blanks would be similar, very similar. जैसे foresee and predict, 2 words हैं. अब स्टूडेंट कहता है मैम foresee का मतलब भी यही है, predict का मतलब भी यही है. यहाँ पे आपको किस चीज के ऊपर ध्यान देना है? Have a look on very first word before the blank and the next word after the blank. उन दोनों वर्ड से क्लैरिटी होगी that do we require foresee here or predict here. Again, how to approach this we will be discussing in the next slides. Now, moving on to further slide, that is slide number 5. Always double check whether the answers make sense or not. जल्दबाजी में कई बार हम ये करते हैं कि अच्छा इज लगा हुआ है, ओ माय गॉड आईएनजी वाला जाएगा, क्लियरली आईएनजी वाला आंख बंद करके हमने मार्क कर दिया, हम फटाफट से भागते हैं. माय टाइम इज रनिंग, आई हैव टू रश फॉर द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चंस ताकि कोई क्वेश्चन छूट ना जाए. बट दिस इज वेयर वी मेक मिस्टेक. अगेन आई डिस्कस दिस प्रीवियसली एज वेल. डू always do proofreading, because in proofreading you yourself will be dubious that this doesn't make sense in my sentence. कई बार लगता होता है कि इसका आंसर ये है और लास्ट वाले क्वेश्चन का आंसर ये है, बट समटाइम्स इन द ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप वो इंटरचेंज होने होते हैं, उसकी कंप्लीट सेंस आफ्टर प्रूफ रीडिंग निकलती है। नो डाउट मैंने बोला कि 2 मिनट हमने यूज करने हैं, बट इफ वी अप्लाई द करेक्ट स्ट्रेटेजीज देन इन 2 minutes ओनली यू कैन गेट टाइम फॉर योरसेल्फ फॉर प्रूफ रीडिंग ऑल्सो, right? Then predict the answers based on your knowledge before looking for the options. If you are a good reader, for example me being a good reader, there are many of my students who are very brilliant and avid readers as well. हम जब क्लास में सेशंस ले रहे होते हैं तो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे हैं जिनको एमसीक्यूज देखने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, सेंटेंस पढ़ते पढ़ते ही इन द फ्लो हमें पता होता है कि इस ब्लैंक में कौन कैसा सा वर्ड जा सकता है, वर्ब जाएगी, नाउन जाएगा, एडजेक्टिव जाएगा, कोई प्रेपोजिशन आनी है, कोई आर्टिकल आना है, कोई मोडाल आना है, हम वहीं पे प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं दैट दिस माइट बी द आंसर, या फिर सेंस ऑफ द सेंटेंस इज नेगेटिव सो दिस माइट बी द प्रोबेबल आंसर। और फिर हम जब एमसीक्यू के ऊपर क्लिक करके देखते हैं उसमें सच में से एक ऑप्शन पड़ी होती है। सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द स्ट्रेटेजीज इफ यू आर अ गुड रीडर, if you have good knowledge, if you consider yourself average or good student, then please follow this technique as well. Analyze the whole text for implied meaning and purpose. ये अगर हमारे पास टाइम ज्यादा है तो ही यूज करेंगे स्ट्रेटेजी को, अदरवाइज वी कैन जस्ट स्किप दिस स्ट्रेटेजी। इसका मतलब क्या है दैट बिफोर रीचिंग आउट फॉर द ऑप्शंस, समटाइम्स हम क्या करते हैं पर्टिकुलर सिर्फ उतना ही सेंटेंस पढ़ते हैं जितने में हमें ऑप्शन चाहिए होता है। नो डाउट द बेसिक स्ट्रेटेजी इज दिस ओनली, बट कई बार ये होता है कि हम पूरा जब पैराग्राफ एनालाइज करके पढ़ते हैं आधे आंसर्स खुद ब खुद माइंड में पॉप अप करते हैं दैट दिस कैन बी द प्रोबेबल आंसर। सो पूरा एक बार पैसेज रीड करके देखो दैट व्हाट इज द क्रक्स, व्हाट इज द जिस्ट ऑफ द passage given, right? Then cross check the synonyms and antonyms in relation to the options given. Again we have discussed this that whenever you are stuck on some particular questions, कई बार 4 options ऐसे आते हैं हमने कभी उनके मतलब भी नहीं सुने होते। We being the trainers as well, we being the experienced ones as well, we being the experts as well, again mentioning English language is very endless and there are new words day by day upcoming in the arrival. Some words in the English are Latin words, some words in the English are Greek words, so focusing on each and every word is not a cup of tea for each and every person. So कई बार हम लोग भी aware नहीं होते हैं कि चारों वर्ड का मतलब है क्या। ऐसी सिचुएशन में क्या होता है, आगे जब हम सेंटेंसेस पढ़ते हैं, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल द वर्ड इज गिवन ubiquitous, then catastrophic, then claustrophobic, ऐसे ऐसे वर्ड्स दिए हैं जिनका हमें मतलब नहीं पता है। आगे जब आप लाइंस में पढ़ के देखते हो थोड़ा सा वहां से हिंट हो सकता है 70-60% चांसेस आर देयर कि वैसा कोई ना कोई वर्ड आगे दिया होगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल पूरे पैसेज में क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिक वर्ड दिया है तो आंखें बंद करके जो समझ नहीं आ रहा था उसका आंसर हम क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिक मार्क करेंगे। Hope I'm clear here. Cross-check the synonyms and antonyms means always relate the particular blank options with something in the further or the previous lines. कई बार antonyms की वजह से भी we can get our correct answer. It's all about the understanding. It's all about how we do the practice. Practice session बच्चा ये नहीं होता कि practice we are just practicing endless number of questions and we are practicing the predicted questions on YouTube, the predicted questions on Pearson's site or this site, that site. Sites are having endless number of questions, no doubt, but where's the approach? Approach is with you. Just like us delivering this session today, the approach is within you only. You have to apply all these strategies one by one and check which one is working for you. Endless number of strategies are there. Approaches are given on the YouTube sessions, on the classes session, in the master classes as well. But in the practice, you have to apply these strategies. Please do not do practice just like an eye wash for you कि बस आज मैंने 5 practice कर लिए, that's enough for me. No, approach is where we have to work upon, right? Moving on to the next slide now. Slide number 6. We are going to practice one type of question. So the question in front of you is reading fill in the blanks, drag and drop. Drag and drop में बच्चा, what is the difference between drag and drop and MCQ based fill in the blanks? दोनों में डिफरेंस सिर्फ इतना है that drag and drop में you collectively get some options right at the end of the passage. MCQ based में when you click on the blank there are 4 options given to individual blank. इसमें individual options नहीं है, इसमें collaborative options है. Now I am giving you the time of 2 minutes to solve these blanks right in front of your screen. Please have 2 minutes now and try to solve this. Get what the answers are. Then we will be discussing what the accurate answers are. All the best. All right, students. So 2 minutes are over. Hopefully, the viewers must have solved the given questions. Let's have a look now. At one time, Amazon River flowed westwards, perhaps as a part of Proto-Congo river system from the interior of present-day Africa, when the continents were. Now here the helping verb were is given, and there is the basic rule of grammar that with were we have to use verb की third form only. So कुछ नहीं करना मैंने यहाँ पे, मैंने बस यहाँ पे अपनी grammar की techniques imply करनी है. Now here the first word, first option is collision. Collision is not a verb, it's noun, right? Then there is this verb adopted. Adopted is the verb, right? Then joined, again verb. Collide, again verb, but this is first form of the verb. So this can probably not be the answer. Adopted, third form. Joined, again third form. Then collide can be option, but it's for first form, so we cannot mention it. Adapted can be an option. Then raise, become, no. Rise, again first form. Became, no. Right? So the continents were dash as part of Gondwana. What would be the answer for me here? The answer for me is joined. Answer for the first blank is joined because we have to look for the third form of the verb. Now, the continents were adopted. Continents को कैसे adopt किया जा सकता है? थोड़ी सी common sense. No, it cannot be adopted. The continents were adapted. Again, no. Adapt. Adapt is like following something or adapting other person's rituals or customs. Continents कुछ adapt नहीं कर सकते हैं, right? Continents को adopt नहीं किया जा सकता. So both of the options were cancelled here. Again, elimination strategy. Elimination strategy which we were talking about. So the answer for me is joined. Continents can be two, can be more, were. Third form, always third form with the word, were joined as part of Gondwana. 15 million years ago, the Andes were formed by the dash of the South America plate with the Nazca plate. Leave the rest. The article is mentioned here. With the, we always and always have to use noun. यहाँ पे we have to use noun. So what is the noun here? The noun here is collision. Collision. The collision of South America plate with the Nazca plate. So थोड़ा सा एक idea भी लिया मैंने. Nazca plate, one. Number two, South America plate. And there is something happening with both of them. So what can it be? The noun is collision here, right? With the always and always noun is used. So see, कुछ नहीं है इसमें, just the basic grammatical strategies and elimination only, right? Then further, the dash of the Andes and the linkage of the Brazilian and Guiana shields block the river and cause the Amazon to become the vast inland sea. Again, the laga hai, so there is noun, right? So what are the nouns left here? Adopted is verb, joined is verb, collide is verb, adapted is verb. Raise, independent. Raise is noun here. Rise, rise is verb here, right? Now raise and rise. The rise of Andes and the linkage of Brazilian. The rise of Andes and the linkage of Brazilian. अब आप बोलोगे मैम why not raise? Why the answer is rise here? You yourself said that with the we have to use noun here. But see, there is this thing with the verbs which we mention as transitive and intransitive verbs. So that is a depth question here. But we have to primarily focus upon the simple strategy here. He raises his hand. He raises his hand. With raises or with raise, we have to look for the other dependent noun, or we have to look for the other dependent object. वहां पे हमें requirement of other dependent. He, a subject, should be dependent on something in order there is raise. But the sun rises independent completely. So these are known as transition and non-transition verbs. So you have to focus on these as well. You can check out after that on Google and on YouTube, right? So here the answer is rise. Why rise? Because the rise of the Andes, the raise of Andes. Andes क्या raise कर रही है? What is Andes raising? Doesn't make sense. Then next one. Gradually, this inland sea dash a massive, swampy, most clearly, sorry. Gradually, this inland sea dash a messy, swampy, freshwater lake and the marine inhabitants dash to life in freshwater. For example, over 20 species of stingray, most clearly related to those found in the Pacific Ocean. Now, gradually this inland dash. Now, gradually this inland what? What the words are left here? Gradually, this inland sea dash a massive, adopted a massive, joined a massive, collide a massive, become a massive, या फिर became a massive. Gradually means this is a process. धीरे धीरे. So become is the past tense, which will be written that if it would suddenly have happened. जैसे overnight he becomes so angry, right? That makes sense. But here the word that would come is became. Gradually this inland sea became a massive swampy freshwater lake. Transition of something. The sea became something, right? So became a massive swampy freshwater lake and the marine inhabitants dashed to, life. Here, the word to is mentioned. So again, if you are aware of the collocation, here it is making a collocation with adapted. Marine inhabitants adapted to the life in fresh water. Hope I was clear here. So see, number one, grammatical rule again. Verb के साथ verb की third form हमने eliminate किए बाकी of the nouns and बाकी of the forms of verbs. हमने third form check की और फिर हमने check किया that what is the suitable one here, right? Second thing we looked after was the के साथ noun आएगा. 2 से 3 nouns थे हमारे पास, and then we have a look upon the particular question of the noun only. Then after that again there was the, but again we use the technique of the grammar here, that is there would be transitional verbs or non-transition verbs. So we focused upon that, and at the end there was the collocation. So elimination साथ साथ जाएगी और उसके ऊपर we will be working upon the collocations as well, right? Let's have a look on one more such question here. Again, I am giving you not 2 minutes to practice. Take 1.5 minutes only. Take 130 seconds to practice this question now. One minute is over. All right. So the time to practice is over. Let's have a look if you got all the 3 correct. These are easy ones. Have a look. Of the world's 7 remaining species of marine turtles, almost all have been pushed to dash levels. Again, if you are aware of the collocation to, we have to put some collocation here only. To, there are 3 options. To existence levels, to endangered levels, to extent levels. इस क्वेश्चन में बच्चों ने क्या किया जब मैंने ये क्लास में प्रैक्टिस करवाया पहले, तो they put the answer extent here, because extent and levels, उन्होंने आंख बंद करके दोनों को रिलेट किया and they marked it as an answer, but that is a wrong answer. The answer here is endangered levels. Why endangered levels? Because in the next line they are mentioning about habitat loss, plastic pollution, climate change, and fishing nets. All these are the signs of being getting endangered. So it has been pushed to endangered levels, those levels where the species are getting endangered. So check कर रहे हो, we have to take hint from the another line as well. जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर आपको 2 में confusion हो रही है तो सिर्फ साथ वाला word check करके आंखें बंद करके हम कुछ भी mark करेंगे. We have to cross check with the next depending sentence as well. So from the next sentence we got the hint here that what the answer would be. Answer would be clearly endangered. Now next sentence, hunting, habitat loss, plastic pollution, climate change, and accidentally being caught on fishing nets continue to threaten the dash of these large. आज एक आपको बात पता चली है that with the noun is used Extent is not the noun here, so existence clearly. The existence is the answer here. Threaten the existence of. Extent cannot be threatened. Of something. So extent of something, never it can be the answer. Threaten the existence of these large and long living creatures. Shell Beach, named after the shells that form its 90-mile dash, is a vital nesting ground for four of these marine turtle species. Here एक ही blank बची है, extent definitely वही आंसर होगा, लेकिन इसका hint आपको 90 माइल से भी मिल रहा है. 90 mile is the specification of some distance. So distance is the specification of only option, that is extent. Right? So if you got all of the three correct, you are on a good level. But if you got dubious in the first blank and the last blank, we need to work upon the collocations first. Moving on to the next slide now, slide number 8. These are known as MCQ based blanks, reading and writing fill in the blanks, and students also mention these are as multiple choice based blanks. Whatever you name it. So in these type of blanks, when you click on the blank, you get 4 options for particular one. Now you are having 2 minutes to appear for this one. Give it a go. So 2 minutes are over. Hopefully you have got all of the answers. This was a bit easy. Why I have chosen this blanks specifically? Because many of the grammatical aspects are there in this blank and it would be very helpful for you. So let's proceed with the very first sentence. Inflation in India dash on a worrying uptrend with the consumer price index, blah, 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 right? Inflation in India, continuing, ing, helping verb is required. This cannot be the answer. Eliminated. Has continue, no sense of any of the tense. Has continued, third form. Is continue, helping verb is there. Ing is must required here. So the only answer that is left here is continues. Inflation in India continues on a worrying uptrend with the consumer price index based reading accelerating to 8 months of this. Then after full stop, there is a blank हेडलाइन डैश हेडलाइन आंखें बंद करके बच्चे यहाँ पे भरेंगे न्यूज़पेपर हेडलाइन it is never newspaper headline students it is always apostrophe newspapers headline. This is Gurpreet's master session. SIEC's master class on PTE reading. Never SIEC master class. Right? So dependency. Newspaper अगर तो apostrophe S होता तो headline आना था. So here worry headline no. Informal headline inflation no. Here the word to be mentioned was February's headline. February's headline because आगे जाके अगर आप चेक करोगे तो there are the words like January's and there is again February's so apostrophe s with February. February's headline WPI inflation dash to 13.11%. What is the meaning of spurt here? Let me clarify. The meaning of spurt here is increase. Now, WPI inflation spurt to 13.11% doesn't make any sense. Spurted to past form okay can make sense. Has spurt no. If ed is mentioned तो has के साथ भी third form जाएगी. Has spurt is cancelled here. Spurts we have to check if it the regularity or not. तो आगे से पता चलेगा was it the regularity but no they are talking about the February's headline which itself is in the past now. February's headline WPI inflation has spurted अगर होता तो that would have been correct but third form why because they are talking about February's headline और अगर यहाँ पे February अगर हम अच्छे से मार्क ना कर पाते तो definitely ये भी आंसर गलत हो जाता तो you have to be very careful and very conscious and very active and alert while mentioning right so here the answer is spurted. Then next retail inflation remains stuck above RBI's upper tolerance blah 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 let's not read as a whole. Households in hinterland dash a bigger brunt of the burden again this is a collocation burden brunt bear these are the words which come with the burden let's not bear the burden so along with the word bear third form is mentioned here that is bore. Core a bigger brunt core is the center so core a bigger doesn't make sense. Soar a bigger brunt soar is the meaning of increase then roar rising then no this is not the correct option. Bore bear third form of bear is bore bearing the loss yeah bearing the brunt of let's not bear the brunt of this is sort of phrase which we use in English language right again collocation. Then further let's directly have a look on the next sentence and dash inflation in oils and fats eased by more than 220 basis points to 16.44%, comma, there is a little room. Now here, this is known as subordinate sentences. Now what are subordinate sentences? Again, in depth we have to look for the same. Let's keep it for afterwards. थोड़ी सी clarity करती हूँ. For example, मैं कहती हूँ, if you work hard, comma, only then you will succeed. If you focus on your goals, comma, only then the results would be bad. Even though I worked hard, comma, I faced failure. Even though he's a good student, comma, he lacks in discipline. Even though he's a very good employee, comma, he never comes on time. So here the comma is mentioned and after that there is little room for cheer. What is this sentence mentioning? This is giving some sort of Negative hint. Little means zero, almost zero. Little room for cheer. तो मुझे idea हो गया that I have to use some sort of subordinate conjunction here. Now, furthermore, this is for the complete independent sentence. These sentences are not independent. These are dependent sentences. Next one is dependent. So these are codependent sentences. Nevertheless, again for independent sentence, so again and so doesn't make any more sense. So the answer here is even though. Even though this is happening, there is little room for the hope. Hopefully, I'm clear here. Then further, there is little room for cheer given that one can expect a dash again this month in the wake of blah blah blah. Expect a price again. Expect a spike again. Spike is the synonym for rise. Expect soil, clearly eliminated. Expect a retail. Retail is clearly eliminated here. So expect a price or spike. Students get confused here. Answer here is spike. Why the answer is spike? Because जब मैं आगे इसको पढ़ती हूँ, again this month, in the wake of, wake is jagna, wake of as in used phrasal verb for rise of. So rise. Here the word to be mentioned is something relatable to rise, that is spike. Expect a spike again this month. Right? Last one now, the overall trend. No, let's read it from the full stop. With price gains in clothing and footwear, fuel and light and transport and communication, all running well above 8% levels, the overall trend in retail inflation is now dash broad based. Now, broad based, this is adjective here. So, before adjective, always and always adverb is going to be mentioned. Now, what are adverbs? If you are aware about the adverbs always ends with ly, positively, negatively, cheerfully, extensively, advisably. These all are adverbs ending with ly. So with adjective, which is broad based, broad based is adjective here. We have to clearly mention some adverb. So adverb यहाँ पे कौन सी हैं? Two adverbs are there. One is clearly, another is strangely. So it is strangely broad based. Broad based तो मुझे लगता है this is very positive context. So strange कैसे हो सकता है? If idea is a broad based one, how it can be strange? So clearly the answer is clearly. It is clearly broad based across consumption categories. Right? So what we did here, we just used the very basic knowledge of grammar. कोई जरूरत नहीं है पूरा पूरा अंडरस्टैंड करने की, 5 10 मिनट एक ही क्वेश्चन को लगाने की, because reading में time goes in a jiffy. In just blink of the eyes and the blink of the moments, many of the seconds are gone. So you have to be very putting emphasis very much on the collocations, the grammatical rules, the parts of speech revise karna is very important, right? Let's have a look on further such type of one more question. So right on your screen is probably the last slide of this session. Hope that students are enjoying and students are getting, information. So one more to practice. Let's give, I must say, 2 more minutes to this one as well. Let's come across with the answers afterwards. So please take 2 minutes, solve the questions right in front of your screen now. All right. So the time is over. We are done with 2 minutes. Hopefully you have got all of the answers. Again, this was easy, bit easy, but these are the type of questions you get in your final exams as well, right? So let's have a look on the very first question. Both farms were by far the largest, most prosperous, most technologically advanced farms in their dash districts. Restricted districts, no. Retentive, for example, let's say मतलब ही नहीं पता होता students को. Then two are the options left after elimination. Respected, respective, and selected. Now, selected districts cannot be answered. Why? In their selected districts, that is again dependency of districts and the selection. लेकिन यहाँ पे किसी भी line में you will not get the selection option. So the respective is the answer. Advanced farms in their respective districts. Then, in particular, each was centered on a magnificent state-of-the-art barn. What is the barn? Barn is particularly term for yard or something. For dash. ing अब सब में लगा हुआ है तो gathering can be option, sheltering भी can be option, keeping भी can option, hiding भी can option. Dash and milking cows. Now, milking cows. Cows are milked in this barn. Along with milking are those gathered. Milking and gathering doesn't seem a correct option for me. Why? Because gathering is जगह जगह से किसी को लेके आना और एक जगह जगह पे gather करना. Gathering just for the purpose of milking doesn't make complete sense to me. So sheltering. Those are sheltered in this particular art of barn for sheltering and milking the cows. Then those structures both neatly dash into opposite facing rows of cow stalls dwarfed all other barns in the district. Now, what would be the word here? What are the options given? The options are divided, gathered, separated, ya cut. So those structures both dash into opposite facing rows. Opposite facing. Two things are opposite facing here. Divided. Division can be in two things, but dividing may, there is no, one thing can be divided into two, but there is no specification. Here they are specifying it into the opposite facing rows. So the answer here is separated, not divided. Why not divided? Because division can happen in two things as well. Division can further happen into many of the things as well. So they here the accurate word is separation, because आगे भी they are mentioning it in the sense of opposite facing, right? So the word here is separated. Then both farms let their cows move, live, graze, eat. All of these are verbs now. So what is the accurate answer? Both of the farms. Again, both of the farms. यहाँ से भी idea होता है कि पिछले का answer is separated, not divided. So both of the farms let their cows dash outdoors. Move out there outdoors? No, cats are not on the ramp walk here. So move cannot be the answer. Live outdoors? No, they are living inside. Graze outdoors is the option because cows never eat, cows always graze. Graze outdoors in lush pastures. Again, from the word pastures, graze is the answer here. Then, during the summer, produce their own hay to harvest in the late summer for feeding the cows through the winter and dash their production. So, production. Some word is required here with the production. Production के साथ widened production of summer? No, cannot be. The answer production can never be widened. Narrowed production, again, if it cannot be widened, how it can be narrowed? Narrowed भी answer नहीं आएगा. Sharpened, we cannot sharpen the production. So clearly here the answer is increased. Right? थोड़ी सी कॉमन सेंस, ज्यादा सी ग्रामेटिकल नॉलेज, थोड़े से कॉलोकेशंस और बहुत सारा पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड is what would help you to get a very good band score, very good target score in PTE. Right? So this was all about the PTE reading, writing, and drag the options. Fill in the blanks only for today. I am Gurpreet Kaur. So you were watching this with SIEC Test Masters. We regularly come up with certain tips and techniques and strategies. No doubt, we trainers are very busy with the online and offline sessions only. But now, as the demand of the students is very high with the PTE these days because of the entries in Australia and the UK acceptances as well, the trend and inclination is more towards PT now because PT is definitely scoring. Problematic sessions जो भी होते हैं, we regularly come up with the master sessions and super classes as well. Those are run free of the cost, offline, online, some days on YouTube, other days on Instagram live sessions as well. So in order to stay updated and in order to stay in touch with all the wise strategies, accurate approaches, and some good free materials as well, do not forget to subscribe all of the SIC Test Master channels. We are there on Instagram, on Facebook, and even on YouTube. So if you liked this session, if you liked the information provided in the session, do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment as well. And also I want you guys to please comment on the further doubts as well, so that the next session, whatever we would be planning according to the demand of the students only. So this was the demand in the previous of the session. Hopefully, we have covered the aspect which students wanted to work upon or to know more about. So if you want to know more about any of the other parameter or any of the other particular question type, please do drop a comment in the comment section. Right? And here with this session, I'm going to share a very good news, brilliant milestone news for SIEC as a company and for the viewers and for the lovers and the students as well. SIEC Test Masters is now launching its own essays, IELTS and PTE essays. Along with that, IELTS speaking cue card list. Cue cards, you guys are very well aware that time to time, after every 3 to 4 months, cue cards are changing rapidly. And with that change, there are some lists which come in the market, which students know that are not of that much accurate level, or students find it difficult. Ma'am, this is very common one. What else we can do? So SIEC Test Masters is putting a lot of efforts on the same, and soon both of the books, the Test Master SIEC Test Masters essays book, and along with that speaking cue cards, follow-ups, and introduction book very soon, probably by the end of the month. So stay tuned for that as well, and you will be seeing these books in the markets as well, both in the soft copies and hard copies. So here I am done with the session. So if any of the doubt is there further, let's discuss it afterwards. And I will be active on the in the comment sections as well. Please drop any of the query or any of the feedback.